Ever felt like you're stuck in a fitness rut, watching others zoom past with their rapid progress and wondering what you're missing out on? I was there until I discovered the game-changing strategy that elite athletes keep in their back pocket: Fartlek training. Yes, I said Fartlek, so go ahead and giggle, but that's the original Swedish word. This revelation transformed my approach to fitness, and I'm about to share how it can do the same for you. First, let's see what the original Fartlek training is. Fartlek training is a concept I learned about during my fitness trainer course, but I'll tell you how we incorporate that in fitness and cardio later on. The idea was brought to life about 80 years ago by Swedish coach Gösta Holmar, who revolutionized the way athletes approached speed and endurance workouts. The essence of Fartlek, which is Swedish for speed play, lies in its flexibility. Runners have the freedom to vary their pace as they wish without the constraints of a rigid structure. That means you will blend periods of high-speed running with intervals of slower, more relaxed jogging without necessarily following a set time for the intervals. This approach empowers runners to listen to their bodies and adjust their efforts intuitively, moving towards an instinctive running experience. The only guideline is to alternate between moderate effort of 40 to 60% of your max and higher intensity bursts, aiming for 70 to 90%. Now let's look at some classic, unstructured Fartlek training examples. Unstructured sessions use landmark-based variations. For example, you can choose a distant tree or building as your target for a fast interval, then slow down until you reach the next bench or street corner. This method brings an element of play and unpredictability to your run, as the distances between landmarks can vary. Alternatively, find a hill and sprint up for 30 seconds, then turn around and jog back down. Repeat this sequence, allowing the incline to add resistance training to your speed work. We'll also look at some structured Fartlek later on. For now, let me just underline this type of training has lots of advantages. First, Fartlek is ideal for runners trying to improve their performances. Basically, when you incorporate structured speed variations, you can progressively close the gap to your target pace. That makes Fartlek especially valuable if you're eyeing improvements for upcoming races. Besides, you can simulate real race conditions, which demand continuous movement with fluctuating speeds to manage energy and endurance. So you get a realistic practice environment. You'll also keep sessions interesting, achieve a higher caloric burn because you alternate between moderate and high-intensity intervals, and cultivate resilience because you're pushing beyond your comfort zone, even in short bursts. However, Fartlek running has some disadvantages, especially if you're doing unstructured Fartlek. The lack of structured intervals and clear performance metrics can make it challenging to gauge your progress or ensure you're meeting specific training goals. This can lead to either undertraining, where you don't push hard enough during the on periods, or overtraining, where the absence of strict rest intervals could lead to insufficient recovery. Besides, beginners likely don't know how to listen to their body's cues well. So the self-guided nature of Fartlek workouts might lead to pacing difficulties and inconsistent training outcomes. Also, Fartlek requires a degree of self-motivation and discipline that might not suit everyone's training style. That's why there are so many structured Fartlek examples. The 5-4-3-2-1 Fartlek workout, for example, entails starting with a 5-minute run followed by a 2.5-minute rest. This pattern continues with a 4-minute run and a 2-minute rest, a 3-minute run with a 1.5-minute rest, a 2-minute run with a 1-minute rest, and concludes with a 1-minute run. The entire set, including rest periods, sums up to 22 minutes. The 5-4-3-2-1 Fartlek workout is best for building endurance and mental toughness, as it requires sustained effort over varying intervals with decreasing rest times. You learn to recover more efficiently during shorter breaks, so you can prepare for the late-stage demands of races. The 30-90 Fartlek is another example, designed to blend short bursts of intense running with longer recovery periods. In this workout, you run at your target 5K pace for 30 seconds without monitoring your pace with a GPS watch. This is immediately followed by a 90-second phase of easy running. The 30-90 Fartlek is tailored more towards improving speed and aerobic capacity. Another popular option is the 3-2-1 Fartlek, which means alternating between hard running and easier jogging or regular paced running. The hard running intervals last for 3 minutes, 2 minutes, and 1 minute, respectively, so the name reflects the duration of these intervals. The rest periods between these intervals is 1 minute each time. Therefore, the 3-2-1 Fartlek is great for both speed and endurance. You can also do other Fartlek workouts, not just runs. I mentioned earlier that I learned about Fartlek during my fitness training course. The idea there was to alternate between high and low intensity intervals for set times without breaks. The exercises in the high and low intervals should also be in the same family. So if you're doing jump squats during the intense intervals, the low intervals should be regular squats. Or you can alternate bicep curls with very heavy weights for the intense intervals with bicep curls with very light weights for the low intensity intervals. The point here is, just like with the Fartlek runs, to challenge your endurance, power, and mental toughness. As a side note, I learned about 3 types of Fartlek intervals for fitness and cardio training. Long Fartlek entails alternating between 4 minutes of high intensity and 3 minutes of low intensity. Medium Fartlek is 2 minutes high plus 2 minutes low, and short Fartlek is 1 minute high plus 1 minute low. The difference between Fartlek and HEAT, for example, is that you're focusing on a muscle group without breaks and with the same type of exercise in the high and low intensity periods. For example, let's say you want to do overhead tricep extensions. 2 rounds of short Fartleks with heavy and light weights can create incredible mechanical tension and metabolic stress. If you're short on time, this kind of workout for different muscle groups is extremely efficient. That said, I'm curious to hear from you. Will you try Fartlek, or have you already tried it? What's your impression of this type of training? So, remember to hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and let's move this chat to the comments.